Hi, my name is Denise Harvey, and I am a graduate student at Liberty University studying Human Services and Family Advocacy. This group assignment is for HSCO 511 group counseling. The date and time of the meeting took place Saturday, August 3rd at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and the meeting lasted for 1 hour and 30 minutes. The group meeting is a support group. It's a meeting to help young women struggling to find meaning in their life, struggling with identity, loss, and attempting to figure out who they are and what they desire to get out of their life. We will come to understand the authentic person that they have been created to be and how to reach those goals in obtaining what they desire to do. I have named this group Beautifully You, Discovering the Purpose Within. Now, my purpose and reason for choosing this type of support group is I have created this group for this assignment. However, because I had started a blog in a previous class with the same name, I thought that the subject matter as a support group for young women would be really good and it would be beneficial at the same time. If after the meeting is over, the women that are involved believe that they found value and this is something that they would continue to like to do as far as meeting, then I'm definitely open to meeting either once a month or even once every other month with a group of ladies. We had 5 women in attendance. I had initially invited 10, but 5 were available to come at that date and time. The first thing we took care of were introductions. I introduced myself, even though most of the women, they already knew who I was, and then I went around and had them introduce themselves to the rest of the group. I explained the group order of the meeting. The group is a closed meeting, so you had to be invited, and I had to know that you were coming, and no other guests were allowed into the meeting, including children and husbands, spouses, anyone else. And this meeting, I also explained, was in order to fulfill my assignment. But again, like I said, if after the meeting's over, they felt that they received value from the meeting, I am definitely open to continue this type of support group for these women. After that, we went over the meeting goals and norms. I spoke to them about my values and life lessons, and I believe that understanding your purpose is so important, and it's important to understand if you are stuck, how to get unstuck. Some people don't even realize that they're stuck. They just know that they can't move forward, or they don't think that the goals and dreams that they have for themselves are attainable. So, meeting content and process. What is said in this group stays in the group. I explained and shared with the group my ethical responsibilities and that I stressed the confidentiality within the group. I also stressed that this group needs to be a group of no fear and no judgment, so that we need to be able to say what's on our heart without feeling that someone's passing judgment on something they may have done in their past or even thoughts that they may have. The next thing we did was an icebreaker. The icebreaker was a lot of fun for the women. Everyone participated. We broke up I paired the groups into 2 and 3, since we had 5 altogether, a dyad and a triad. The group was then asked a question, and I also gave the group members 10 minutes to pair up and get the answer, and then after that, we would come back and discuss it as an entire group. The question that they were to address was, what is a good thing that is happening in your life, and why do you consider it good? So once the group broke up, once they had their discussions and I saw them interacting and everyone talking and sharing, we then came back and the opposite person shared their group partner's answer, and then we went around discussing and commenting about what they said. And even if it was them wanting to obtain a goal, and they saying that this is what I want to do, this is what makes me happy, I'm already working towards that, we then discussed that in a little bit of length as well. The next thing that we touched on, the points that we touched on to discuss within our group were, the theme of the group is discovering the beautiful you God created you to be. Understanding that you are enough, that you are smart, that you are confident, that you are beautiful, and that you are worthy. And we really touched on the aspect of believing that you're worthy. You're worthy of achieving these things that God has placed in your heart. You're worthy of trying to reach your goals, your dreams, and your desires, regardless of what that may be. We also talked about understanding how mindset plays an important part on the decisions that we make in life, the things that we think, the things that we say, including our environment. And so we talked again about mindset and positive affirmations and how to train the thoughts that you allow in your mind and not to ruminate on negative thoughts and self-doubt. I shared with the group something that I wrote back in 2007 when I was stuck. I read to them everything that I said. It was basically me speaking my truth, just putting it down on paper and letting it flow. And it was amazing to see that the young women actually identified with what I was saying, where I was in life and how I felt about where I was working, what I was doing, what I was not achieving, while I couldn't go back to school, how I desired to go back to school. I shared all that with them, and they identified with them. They asked me, Miss Denise, you must be in our head. You must be in my head, because these are the type of thoughts that I have all the time, and I don't know what to do about that. So that right there really blessed me, that I was able to share with them, you know, exactly where I was, the good, bad, and the ugly, and yet they were still able to identify with me that time. And I wanted them to see that these are the things I shared, but then I had to go about trying to figure out how to change these thoughts in my life and the goals and dreams, and how to start walking out those steps in order for me to attain the goals and dreams I had set for my life. Next, we spoke about how to attract positive opportunities that we desire to achieve. And finally, we touched on loving yourself and how important it is to think positive things about yourself, that you are loving, that you are great, that you are smart, that you are beautiful, that you can achieve all that you want to achieve, and how I shared with them the positive affirmations that I speak daily in reference to myself and my dreams and my desires, my family. And then I showed them one that I had that I actually started marking off, the things that I desire to achieve. The things that I have achieved, I highlighted in yellow. So even as I'm still speaking these things, I'm looking back saying, wow, these things that I had in my heart and my mind, now I can see how, because I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere, and how I'm believing them, and how I'm thinking about them, how I'm visualizing it, how it's been coming back to me. So next, what we did was we did a round of questioning. So we did another round, a group round, and this time we stayed within our main group, and the question was asked of each lady present: where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, each young lady answered the question based on their dreams and their desires, and being able to address what changes they need to take place, or what changes could possibly help them, if they make the changes, if they start making those changes, achieve those dreams, goals, and desires to get them where they desire to be, or where they see themselves in 5 years. The last thing we talked about were vision boards. Now, this was a highlight of the group, and I asked the ladies if anyone had ever created a vision board, and one of the young ladies spoke up and said that she had just recently created a vision board, but it was a small vision board. It was nothing to elaborate about her dreams, goals, and desire. It was mostly about just things that she likes, and that's fine too. So the vision board that I want them to think about creating deals with your goals and trying to achieve your desires, these desires in life. So I gave 5 reasons to create a vision board, and I'm going to briefly just touch on them. I'm not going to go into any long discussion about them. But the 5 things that I spoke about were: vision boards make you think about what it is you really want out of life. Vision boards will help you get unstuck if you are stuck. Vision boards provide you with a daily visual reminder of your dreams and your goals. Vision boards will help you get fired up emotionally in a positive light. Do vision boards work? Vision boards will help you manifest your dreams and your goals. Vision boards will only work if you do the work yourself, and you are prepared to do the work within yourself. So for conclusion, we went back over, I ended it about 15 to 20 minutes prior to us wrapping it up. I want to go back and highlight everything that we discussed, everything that we touched on, and I asked the ladies if this is something that they would desire to do on a monthly or a bi-monthly basis, and they were all in agreement that they definitely wanted to see this occur over and over again. In fact, they were actually planning on coming back next week. So for now, we're going to do it on a monthly basis, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So for the next meeting, what we're going to talk about, we're going to start discussing this at the next meeting, even though I'm quite sure that we won't get through in its entirety everything that we've laid out. We want to start discussing our feelings, rejection, anxiety, and depression, and these things that occur while we're trying to manage through our ever-changing challenges that are occurring in our life. We also will begin discussing our strengths and our weaknesses, and how can we address those weaknesses, changing them into strengths, or just no longer a weakness, identified as a weakness, even if it's not really a strength either, but just no longer being a weakness in our life. And then finally, we want to start creating our vision boards. And we're going to start looking at how can we start taking the steps towards our next goals. And so the ladies were very excited about the fact of creating a vision board, especially after I explained to them the purpose of it and what it can do in your life and how it can kind of help them be grounded. So I'm really looking forward to the fact that they were so open and they were so joyous and so happy to be here yesterday and to not be afraid to share what was on their heart, and the fact that someone showed that they cared enough about what is on their heart in order to help them reach their dreams, goals, and desires. So thank you very much for taking time out and listening to me as I summarized up this wonderful meeting that we had with these wonderful, beautiful young women in my home yesterday. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.